All right, here we are. It's Saturday. I turned epidemic down to some reasonable level so I can hear myself think. Here I am over here on the sideline. Yeah. Yeah, I got a fresh 20-ounce stainless steel doodad full of coffee, cream and sugar. Oh my God. My cardiologist would be all over me. But it's midnight and who cares, Yep. Here we are, Jimmy. There I am. I'm on this side. And my information stuff is on that side. And now I just have to shrink this down a little bit so that you see everything I see. I have more pixels in my iPad display than I've, oh, there you go. I gotta get a hold of, whoops, yeah. I gotta get a hold of Facebook and find out what the heck is going on. I pay extra for these what they call commercial accounts, which, I don't sell anything. Just another way of getting another $10 out of your pocket. I pay like 21 or something for YouTube, but YouTube's reliable. Every time, I believe every time I've had a broadcast, I don't think YouTube has ever said, other than they cited me for doing something wrong one time. And so I met with my legal department. They said, "Hey, son, you need disclaimers and disclosures. You need to, at some point in your broadcast, you need to put up this little bulletin, which basically says, we don't give advice. We're not CPAs. We're not financial advisors. So we're not giving any kind of advice like that. We're just having a conversation, geez. And that's for your own sole educational purposes. Do not use this information for anything." I spend a lot of time, talking about, I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I talk about, this stuff. This is lottery, schmottery, this is just Jimmy playing with the numbers that are publicly available. I have no inside information on anything. I don't want anything. Stay away from me. Yeah. So, you can hear me okay? Yeah, I can hear me. Just setting up these levels so I can hear myself think. Anyway, so, I created this. Now, this is a print screen of the actual spreadsheet. The actual spreadsheet is in numbers. If you wanted a copy of it, send me a text message. I'll send you a copy of it. You can print screen this, but it doesn't allow you to like add stuff to it. But if you want the actual numbers file, hey, I'll give it to you. Yeah, see, I got my column captions, the lottery draw date, the jackpot to single. I mean, this is all, hocus pocus. It's a 290 million to one shot. You will not win. So buying one of these tickets is, you might as well just think of it as a contribution to the educational fund of the state of Florida. I think there's some portion of the lottery tickets that go to education. Yeah, well, there you go. So July 3rd, which is yesterday officially, about an hour ago, a little more than an hour ago, they had the Friday drawing where the numbers are 5, 9, 29, 47, 57, and 16. Now this is just a copy of this little plate with the numbers. I'm not typing numbers because you type numbers, you can make yeah. So I don't type nothing. The only thing I type is, see that 542? I type in that $542 million number, which shows up. Let's see, how do we show you that? Oops. Go here. I'll do favor. See right here. You see 5, 9, 29, 47, 57. I just crop that and end up with that. So from that, I crop it real tight, so you only see, 5, 9, 29. Now I've duplicated it just for your easy viewing pleasure. There it is, see? So I copy that, and then I go to the spreadsheet and paste it right in there with the numbers. You see where it says rollover? So next Tuesday, let's assume it does roll over. We don't know. We won't know for another hour. They got to go through, I don't know what kind of computer system they have or any of that business, but they have to go do their business. And they find out if anybody had these numbers. And if they all line up just like that, that person or those persons would have won $542 million. It's a $500 million. Yeah, we are 30. Look at that. You see that black number right there that says 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Yeah. That's the number of lottery drawings they've had where no one won it. No one had the numbers. So I'm betting with the odds being 290 million to 1 that people are not going to win. I typed in that 565. I figured it's going to go up, that's, so it goes up 23 million. Yeah, it's got to go up 23 million with a $500 million thing. And it's going over a weekend. Oh my God, all these people are going to line up and buy those tickets. Tickets to nowhere because you have a 1 out of 23 chance of winning something. But the winning odds for that, I believe, is worse than 290 million to 1. So there's a really good chance that this is going to roll over again. Yeah. Sooner or later, someone's going to get crazy lucky. Now, this is where Jimmy begins to have a little fun. Let's see, let me expand that just a little bit. There we go. So, we're looking at the we're going to talk about the numbers that are the one above. There's 2 lines of numbers. We're going to look at the one that has to do with today or yesterday. Yeah, the July 3rd drawing, the one that's 542 million. Now the lump sum should be somewhere around 245 million. This is Jimmy's estimate. It is not an estimate by anybody else. Remember, no one's going to win anyway, so we're just playing, you know. But I did a little tiny bit of research, and you know, of all the times they've said what the lump sum might be, you know, and the numbers get big like this, it's, you know, it's about 45%, 45 point, you know, something. And if you take 45% of 542, you end up with 245. It's a little machination of numbers. How about that? It's all the same three numbers. They just jiggled around a little bit. Anyway, so now that would be the number that go on your tax return, I think. The IRS agent says, "You made $245 million last year." Yeah, and you got 31,879 in an account from me because you withheld 24% of the winnings. Because my understanding is all winnings over $600 and over are subject to a 24% withholding. So if you think you got a $600 ticket and they're going to give you $600 in cash, the answer is, I don't think so. Where's that buzzer? Yeah, no. Because Uncle Sam is going to get his 24%. And, you know, and you're going to get the, you know, the 76%. So you're going to end up with about $420, not 600. And that 180, whatever, that's going to go in an account for you at the IRS saying, huh, he paid 24% of tax on those winnings. Yeah, that's how that works. Well, in this case, these numbers are really big. So that 245, you know, that's the lump sum. Now they're actually going to take 24%, 245. No, I don't show what that tax amount is. But if they take 24%, that means you have 76%. So if you do 76% of 245, let's just do it here. Let's clear that. 245 times 0.76. 186. What do I have? Hopefully it's close. Okay. There it is, yeah. 186 million. Ouch. So with that 186, now you're going to have to, this is not tax advice, this is educational advice for your edification. There's three of us in here, me, myself, and I. Me says to myself, there's 13% more tax coming out of here. That's $31 million. You better have that stashed somewhere so you don't forget it. So create an account, Jimmy, with 31,879. Hopefully it earns a little interest. And, you know, I don't know when you have to pay that other 13%. I imagine it's, you know, in April when you do your tax return. Yeah. You know, you can do your tax return in January, February, March. But by April 15th, they're going to be looking for another 31,879. So that better be in the side pocket somewhere. Now, I think you can keep the interest on it because they haven't got it yet. You haven't paid it yet. You know, it's a tax liability. You pay your tax liability April 15th. You know, I think lottery numbers are. The only magic is they grab 24%. You know, first thing. Yeah. They don't grab it unless someone wins, you know. So yeah, that's the way that works. So if nobody wins, then no one gets anything. The IRS doesn't get anything. No one gets dispersed any money. Now, the way I hear it from reading the back of the ticket, no one that wins, whether you accept the lump sum or the annuity, will get anything any sooner than 15 days from the draw date. So if the draw date was yesterday, you can just add 2 weeks from today or 15 days from yesterday. Yeah, it all spells out the same. So 14 and 4 is, 18. So no sooner than the 18th can you get anything, these big numbers. Because they have to go through all their stuff and get it assembled. Now Jimmy, call them on the phone. Let them know, I think I have a winning ticket. So they'll ask you for numbers, serial numbers, this number, that number, what's on the back, what's on the front. They're going to drive you crazy with that ticket. You need to have it in a baggie so that it doesn't get, you don't throw up on it or something. I happen to have the perfect baggie for one of those tickets. Oh yeah. I'm trying to get it. Oh yeah. Look at this. I have a bag of bags. Oh yeah, this one right here. That is 4 mils, 5 mils, 6 mils. I have a ticket in here. Who knows? Maybe it's the winning ticket. What's the chances are? Slim and none. Where is that stupid ticket? There it is. It's in the very front. Oh, there it is. Yes. So instead of having that in that Visine thing, here's my magic bag. So we're going to pretend this is the winning ticket. Can you imagine? It's worth $243 million. Ooh, yeah. There are not many branch banks that have that much money, even on their financial statement, much less in the vault. So this is something you do not want to mishandle. So you put that right in the middle of this nice baggie. Now, even if we have a nice big hurricane, that ticket ain't getting wet. It's in there. It's hermetically sealed. Suck the air out of it. There you go. So now, people look at it, touch it. You're on the phone with lottery. And this is if you think you got a winning ticket, which is, like I tell you, just about no chance of that. 290 million to one chance. I'll bet. Well, who knows? Eventually, someone, the winning odds doesn't change just because there's 31 draws or 33 draws. It's still 290 million to one. It's like flipping a coin. Every time you flip it, it's 50% this way, 50% that way. It's either heads or tails. Well, in the case of lottery, it's either you win or you don't. All the numbers. Now they pay you if you got some of the numbers. They pay you if you got all the numbers. So, and they pay you nothing if you don't have any numbers. But now since we're pretending, it's in our plastic bag, and yeah, we'll just stick it in this window thingy. There we go. It's right there, hermetically sealed. We'll check that ticket tomorrow. Yeah, I'll check that tomorrow. All right, so this is interesting. Whoops. Why are we, let's just get out of there. Yep. We're going to the recent the favorites. There should be a way of displaying that. This, well, there you go. Here's, darn it. I don't know why it's like I'm in the middle. Oh, these silly things. When you touch these keys on a key, this is a keyboard, so when you touch these things, it louses up. All right, favorites. There we go. We're just going to look at favorites. We're not going to do anything with them. No, we're just going to look. Let me get that back on here. Turn it. It's a little dark in here, so I have trouble seeing what the heck I'm doing. So this is a, see, I can actually, flip this around. This is a print screen of the spreadsheet that all these numbers have been, So this one, what the, there we go. Yeah. Now so this is the first one I do. And you'll notice on the very right-hand side, you see the 8,157,000. That's the line we're looking at. The line that's going across there. The one below it is my makeup on what what the jackpot might be if no one wins this time. Of course, the lottery people will project that, and then I'll type that number in. But since I'm playing games here, I just put a number in for the heck of it. The last time this lottery was won, it was like after 28 or 29 draws. This has actually gone 31 draws. 542 million. It's a big lottery because the lump sum is you end up with 100. This is an estimate of the estimate of the estimate. So this is within a couple of million, right? 154 million. That's my guesstimate. And up here I say, these are guesstimates. I'm not part of any lottery. Consult with your own professional financial advisors. Don't do anything. You're not getting advice here. We're just having fun. Please, officer, do not. You're making me crazy. All right, let's get all these things there. I got all these things lined up. Yeah, I'm closing up some of these things. I'm getting strange results. And it's because I have there's a little arrow up there. It's not supposed to be there. And I'm going to close it. Look at this. I put up a statement. Hey, Budapest, Hungary. Look at that. That's John Paul Jones. The second or the third, I forget. I think he's the third. My favorite son-in-law, which my foolish daughter decided to get rid of him They got divorced. Now she's married someone else who I never even met. Not that I have to meet anybody. So they're in Hungary, and look at that. And he's got a thing of beer in his hand. It's amazing. Look at this. Got a little Hungarian pizza. And Nicole, his wife, that's probably hers. And then he's, yeah, that's two different pictures, kind of like. These people travel all over the place. God. Yeah. All right. So, pictures. Pictures, anybody? Yeah, here we go. Favorites. I'll click on that one. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. I can make it bigger so we can see it. There we go. So after all federal taxes, if there was a $542 million winner, which is line 31 there, and 31 means this is the 31st drawing. We don't know if there's a winner yet because it takes a couple hours for them to search through all their computer data, because these tickets are sold in 2 territories and 45 United States states, like Florida. Yeah. So, some of the southern states, they don't sell tickets. It's like against their, religion or something. I don't know. There are 5 states that do not sell these lottery tickets. Florida does not have an income tax on anything, actually. They don't have a state income tax, period. Now, the feds take their piece, depending on how much you make. But if you were to be the grand prize winner, that means that $245 million number, that goes somewhere on the front of your 1040 form, if that would be the form you use. You get tax advice and find out how you do that. I'm going to try to open up a dummy account, with TurboTax, and pop one of those numbers in and see what happens. Yeah, see where it goes on the tax return. I don't know. Line 1 something. Yeah, there's a line for gambling winnings and losses. You can save the tickets that haven't paid and offset those losses against any winnings you have. Not that it's going to make a big dent in 245 million, because that's what the taxable amount would be. Now, that's not financial advice. That's just, I'm just, what is the net present value of the future cash flows where you're going to be paying somebody on a 5% growing annuity? What's the initial payment? $8,157,000. Now, I have calculated that. Now, it may be wrong. It likely is, because I'm calculating it based on an estimate that we don't know is accurate yet. That $542 million number, Florida says that's an estimate. So who the hell knows? Until you actually win something and they add up, because you have 45 states and 2 territories, the Virgin Islands and D.C., Washington, D.C. That's 47 different jurisdictions, if you will. So they all, scrambling through their computer systems to see if there's a match with 5, 9, 29, 47, 57 with the Mega Millions Ball 16. That is the question. Yep, that's the question. if someone chose the annuity, I've calculated that that initial payment would be around 8,000,001. And I've got it carried out a few more decimal places there, but or digits, pardon me. But that's a calculation, but it's off an estimate. So that I don't know what you call that in the world of mathematics. And I'm a math minor. Can you imagine? A math minor as an undergraduate. I have a multiple degree, of course, you know, biology and organic chemistry. Now there's a combination. Yeah, I was a pre-med student that my girlfriend said, if you go to medical school, become a doctor, then you can count me out. I said, what do you mean count you out? She says, well, my father was a doctor. I didn't know who he was. That's not the way it's going to be in our family. So if you're a doctor, I'm going somewhere else. Ooh, well, so I forewent. The stupid young kid with his brain between his legs. I said, well, I don't want to lose you. So I'll not go to med school. You dumbass. Yeah, I had a free ride from 2 different places. Because I scored very high on what is known as the MCAT, the Medical College Admission Test, MCAT. I scored way up there, apparently. And there were like 10 of us that got scholarships in the state. Went to Union College. So as a graduate of Union College, I had, a scholarship, and 2 scholarships, full pay every damn thing, food, beverage, housing expense, all your tuition, books, pencils. Didn't have to pay for anything, but you had to get, you had to do your homework. You had to have passing grades and all. If you're taking vertebrate anatomy, you better memorize all the bones and muscles and pieces of cartilage, and the femur, and this bone's connected to that bone. Yeah. Sooner or later, you gotta memorize that stuff. So I don't have a passing grade. No longer you have a full free ride. They might throw you out for that matter. I don't know how that works. I did fairly well in whatever I took, except for one. I don't know. I can't remember every single class. I graduated with 142 hours, a double major in biology and chemistry. So I don't remember every class, but the last 2 years, I was like a 6-year plan, and my last 2 years, I was like a machine. Oh my God. Oh, did I get good grades? I was like, and back, this is a while ago, like 50 years ago or more. Yeah, it's 20. Oh God, I don't even want to tell you how many years. Almost 60 years. Could be 60 years. 60, 70. Yeah. 60 years ago. Well, they didn't have laptops and all that stuff. They had line printers, so they would print out your thing. They call it a line printer. But I was in Dr. Reese's physics class, so he'd take the grade, or I helped him grade the tests. And I was like one of these lab instructors, so I made $1 an hour assisting Dr. Reese in whatever he wanted. Yeah. Uh, how about that? $1 an hour. There's a pay for you. 40 hours, $40. It's easy to calculate that one. If you worked in the dining room, which I did, they paid me 78 cents an hour. It's hard to believe that you would actually take your time for 78 cents. But you had to do it if you were on I know. My first semester or so, my parents paid. And I told my mother, I said, you know what, Mom? If I need for you to help me do this, I promise I will call. But don't send money. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it myself. That's, it's part of my development. I have to figure out how to do this, myself. I'm going to pretend there isn't any money home. I know there is. You guys have a lot of fun. You do a lot of things. Well, it's my turn to see if I can, climb the pile or whatever and, be somewhere near the top so that I'm paid well, even though it's $1 an hour. But if you get good grades, see, they'll pay for your tuition. They might even pay for your apartment thingy, your dorm room. Anyway, so I was a lab instructor. I taught a couple of classes actually in data processing. That's what they called it. And yeah. So I was a coder, I was a coder way back, like 60 years ago I was coding. And I'll tell everyone walks around talking to Maryland today. I said, this AI stuff it's a bunch of garbage. Remember I taught digital photography? That's all. I mean, you call that AI if you want to. You can call it AI, you can call it BC, AD, call it whatever the hell you want to call it. It's this whole thing you did with the $250 bill. That's a digital photography applet that's embedded in whatever software package, put your group image in the middle of that $250 bill. That was inserted there. And some operative of a program like Photoshop Elements dropped that image in the middle where that hole exists for putting in an image. I mean, but you do it by typing instructions or talking, With Grok, you can just talk to the computer and it'll do it. You don't have to type a thing. Grok is, Apple, not Apple, what do you call it? Tesla is working, burning the midnight oil. I actually don't know if they work 24 hours a day. If I had a company like that, I'd have multiple shifts and they'd work, you betcha, 3 shifts. Get on that software package. When you get up the next morning, you go back in there, then there should be 16 hours of accomplished work that was performed while you were sleeping. That's the way everybody should wake up and get to work. There's 16 hours ahead of you where people did stuff. Yeah, because you work around the clock, 24/7. That's what I do. This is that important, to Tesla. The faster they get this stuff ironed out, the faster they're going to come out with full self-driving without this word supervised in there. They're just going to say autonomous, which means automated. You don't need a steering wheel. You don't need pedals. They're manufacturing these robo taxi thingies. Let's go there. Let's look at those. Since we've changed subjects, I'll circle back to the other. Yeah, you heard that. Circle back. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got to go to the top of the list. There we go. So, um, Oh yeah, we want to see robotaxis. Excuse me while I. There's a 5 across. Here's my son's new car. He's a. What is this crap? That's my elbow. Must have gone. Let's see. Shift. Yeah. It's acting like I'm in the middle of some process. If I want to see that, that's all I should have to do. There you go. I must be touching something on the keyboard here. TaylorMade. Don't ask me why I have that image. I actually don't know. We're looking for. Oh, excuse me. That was a sneeze. What the hell is this? Yeah, we don't want the dog rolling off with that. Anything I drop, the dog grabs and runs. She's napping. It's 12:45. It's past her bedtime. Anyway, my son Daniel just bought one of those. Actually, leased it, I think. It's not great color. Actually, it looks pretty good there. This is an evening picture. There's a feature called like a puddle light. So there's some kind of little light thing that shines from that mirror straight down. And so when you get out of the car, you don't step in a deep puddle. There's another one on the other side too. Anyway, that sucker is brand spanking new. There is not a dent, a scratch. There's not a piece of dust on that. That is, I drove it around the building that I live in. And it's a heavy duty thing. Yeah, that's a real heavy duty machine. It's not electric. It's hybrid. So there are batteries in there. So the 0 to 40, it runs off the battery. At least that's what he has a RX 350H. I had a long time ago an RX 450H. The engine was a little bit bigger. It was, the first 3 or 4 years that they had hybrid. That's a guess. And so we got one of those. It's my favorite car of all time, except for now, the Tesla is, by for certain, the best car, the most. Yeah, I mean, once you have one of those, you ain't ever gonna drive anything else. You'll walk. I want a robotaxi. There's Daniel's dashboard. Looks like a cockpit of an airplane, doesn't it? There's the runway. Yes, sir. See, D.L. Wilson, that's it. Daniel Lawrence Wilson. No, there's a map, shows exactly where he is. This kid is on the ball. That was the 2 pictures he sent me. That's something my daughter sent me. Everybody's sitting looking. It's a lighted thing. It's like a lighting, When I turn off all the lights, this is on. It's on 24/7. It's got the three dogs. You got Darla, Spanky, Diesel. That thing is humongous. Hudson, Jack, Max. I don't know. I've never met Max. And Robin's new husband, Jonathan. So that's what that is. I know you're just staying up late at night wondering what that was. I don't think so. We're looking for Robotaxi, and I'm going to get there, I promise. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's what Daniel bought Brennan as here's your new job. And TaylorMade is a good thermometer. Maybe it doesn't work. Anyway, where's the Robotaxi? I know I have a million pictures of Robotaxi. I just have to be a little patient while I scan through these. This is my little dog when she was a real, look at that little tiny dog. It was 3.5 pounds. Not anymore. That little sucker is 12 pounds now. Look at the face. The brain is working in this animal. You can tell from even the earliest of moments. All right, we're looking for Robotaxi. Look at all these pictures. Do you know how many pictures I got? We're not going to have to go through. It's just these are in order, of when they were captured. Whatever. There's a picture of the moon as the Earth is getting ready to cast a shadow on the moon. So you got these lunar eclipses and come on, Robotaxi. This I've gone through. We're down to June 3rd. Come on, I got some pictures of Robotaxi before June 3rd. I keep getting sidetracked, so I don't. There's one. They call it a RoboCab, Cybercab. Now this is a test vehicle. That's a Tesla engineer inside there because see, there's a steering wheel. Now they'll just pull that out and put a different panel on there. There's no steering wheel and no brake pedals, no accelerator pedal in the vehicles that they have manufactured thousands of. They've distributed them among 15 initial cities, including Miami, Tampa, Jacksonville, and Orlando. Yeah, there are 4 cities in Florida which they're going to launch the Robotaxi. But that's the one with the steering wheel because they're testing. So they can take it out of, cybercab mode and just have it function like some kind of car. But there are sightings of cybercabs all over the place. So they're manufacturing them. They're probably making. I don't know. It's not 3 a day or 5 a day. It might be 500 a day. Yeah. Maybe it's 100 a day. I don't know. But they're manufacturing. They've turned up the. I'm gonna say the volume low. They've turned up the conveyor belts. They have no conveyor belts. So they come off, the assembly line faster. This is the new Model Y. See that band across? They don't have those big flashlight, headlights anymore. They're all in this, embedded in there, a whole bunch of them, and they're high intensity light emitting diodes. It lights up the front, at nighttime. You have no trouble seeing where you're going. All right, let's. See, here we're getting into March 31. Good to see these pictures of these dogs. my dog Honey. We got her when she was 2 months old. Let's see. Let's get down to March I think it was like March 3rd or something. Oh, she's in a box. We're talking really small dog. It was 3.5 pounds, you know. So one of the deals, one of the things I had to agree to is within 72 hours of receiving the pet. There you go. This is, look at the size of that dog, yeah. So that's March 7th. At see that at 10:46 a.m. It shows you the geographic location of where the picture was taken, which is in my suite up here on the 8th floor. And that's a nice little pup. Yeah. There's Marilyn holding the little pup. Yeah, God. She's now 12 pounds. She crossed 12.0 pounds a couple of days ago. This is, yeah, this is like day one, which is 2 months old. We got the dog when she was 2 months old. Yep. This is March. So you're getting back into March. I think it was right in here, March 3rd. Yeah. So you don't see any pictures of that pup. Oh, there's a dog going potty in that crotch position, the female. I think boys or girl dogs have that pose when they see March 1st. I didn't have a pup until like the 3rd. So that's when you start seeing little baby pictures. Yeah. Donna Robin up there in Arnold, Maryland. We were just browsing around on the internet talking about dogs for some reason. She said, well, she says, my friend of mine has a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. It is a nice, compact, small dog. Be perfect for you. So I'm typing on my iPad here, hunting a place down that would have such a beast. Yeah. And we found a place, yeah, in Missouri. A breeder, supposedly a quality breeder. So you can see from this photo, see how little the dog is compared to Kino? And look at those little legs. This guy now has grown and she chases the cats all over the place. So that's, here she's taking a snooze. Marilyn's in the background. Going through memory lane here. Here's my FAU card, in case you didn't think I actually did such things. Yeah, that's my resume. There's different resumes for different purposes. Yeah. There's the Office of Communication, the press release. Should be a date on here somewhere. May. Cost of the class, look at the bottom there, $380 includes the lab manual, which I wrote, had published by Pearson Education, published it. Yeah, I really need to find one so I can show everybody what that looks like. That's nice. It turned out good. Yeah, 15% royalty. I get anyone buys one. There you go. Classes are taught in a modern, fully equipped computer lab with projection equipment for easy to understand step-by-step instruction. We write all this and then they rewrite it. Yeah. My people talk to their people. And people talk to the people. There's a press release for you. See, this is the kind of crap that filled up my classes. Yeah. For immediate public release. For immediate public dissemination. That sounds like, yeah. So then the students will fill this stuff out. The class is $400 in this little thing we made up. And October 11th, 2006. That's 20 years ago. Can you believe it? So they just faxed this over, and we changed it around so that, you know, I would actually process the payment, and when the class was all done, you know, the student could, you know, sit in one of the classes, and if they hated the class, they get their money back. Yeah, Mr. Wilson, I don't. This is not my cup of tea. Oh, really? They make checks payable to FAU. This was back then. I had a switch. You know, on the instruction, you pay me, and then I'd get all the money, and then I'd write them a check. I asked the head of the, Russ Ivy, the head of the department. He's the head of the whole shooting match now. 20 years ago, he was the head of the. He was my senior faculty guy. Yeah, because I was a adjunct faculty, and he was head of the College of Science or something. I don't remember his title. I remember my title was adjunct faculty, because I had 2 other jobs I was working, 2 other assignments. So since I was like part-time, well paid, but part-time at FAU as adjunct faculty. Oh yeah, they take you up for a vote. Oh my God, all the other faculty have to approve it. Yep, I was voted in with the College of Science unanimously, which means everyone said, "Yeah, let him in." Yeah. So I would let's see how this worked. Yeah, I got $100 a student out of the 400. I got 100 of that as compensation to the instructor. Plus, I get let's see, I would get 14. I get 15% of 120. That's another $18 for the book. Yeah. Anyway, so the 140 for the book, that would go up to Pearson, and then they'd ship back a case of books, or they could buy it in the bookstore. They could do it that way if they want. Now, if they paid the $400, then we'd give them a ticket at the bookstore, and they wouldn't have to pay. They'd be prepaid, and they just the bookstore would just knock it off. One of the ones that were in the box in the back. Yeah. They had lots of books, boxes of books back there. But out of everything, I'd need $100. I'd need $100 plus $18 for the royalty on the book. Yeah, that's how that worked. So you're in the book writing business. Every time a student here, there's your request for adjunct faculty status with the Department of Geography and Geology at Charles E. Schmidt College of Science at Florida Atlantic University. My God, by the time you get, where's the comma? Came to vote during the department's September meeting. Okay. Well, thank you. I'm pleased to inform you that the department voted unanimously to instate you as adjunct faculty. I mean, that's like a big deal. I mean, I'm still adjunct faculty actually. See, October 5th, 2003. My book was published like October 17th. Actually published by the publisher. Had an ISBN number and all that. So it could be ordered anywhere. And this is John Harlan was my, he was a good friend, associate that made this happen. Thank you very much, John M. Harlan, professor and director, the Center for Geoinformation. We almost had a huge deal go through, but it didn't quite get through Congress. We were working actually to get a grant through Congress, but that didn't happen. Anyway, so that's going back down memory lane. So that's going back a long time ago. Now I'm talking to you about, yeah. So there is, it's 1:05. I wonder if we know if there's a winner. Where's my phone? Let me just, so now what we're going to find out is if there was a winner or not. If there is a winner, they're going to say that that next Monday's drawing, the jackpot will be 50. It resets at 50 million. So instead of 565 million, it's like 50 million. So we're going to find that out right now. If these numbers actually, someone had these numbers. So I'm going to load this app. This is an official state of Florida. Let me close everything down so I don't have any. Yeah, let's get all this stuff. I've done all that. The radar, just so the car. Keep the car app open. All right, so now we're going to load up this. Fresh. Okay. The jackpot. So now I'm going to go to No One Won, which is, remember, it's 290 million to 1 odds. That's the winning odds. They call that the losing odds. So I put 565 in there. It's 576. Yeah, that's a nice. See, now people, when these jackpots get big, 576. So I have to double tap that. Put the phone down, Jimmy. So we're going to use my arrow keys. What do they say? 576. I missed it by 11 million. I told you it was an estimate. So now all these other numbers change. So now the lump sum, goes to, so there is a rollover on the July 7th, if someone wins that one, 500, as it's more than $500 million. But it takes you 29 years to get it. Your initial payment is $8.6 million. And then it grows by 5%. And by the time, it lasts, the 29th payment or the 30th payment is like almost like $30 million. The 5% growing annuity, the payments get big. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't mess with that. I tell you what the first couple of draws are. Like 8.6 million and 9.1 million, 9.5 million. This is actually the this is actually the what do you call it? This is the spreadsheet. I don't like doing this because you have Russian hand and Roman figures. You touch the wrong thing, and all of a sudden, bingo bango, you louse this up. You see, like the 29th payment is 33.9 million. The 30th payment is 35.6 million. This is all 5% growing annuity. The equation here is that number times 105%. 27 becomes 29. Yeah. So the last payment is like 35 million bucks. So you add all that across, and it's 5,760,000. Now it's off. You see the very end here. I have a little audit trail. Now remember, I'm just doing this, you know, because I'm yakking with you guys. This is not official anything. This is just Jimmy playing. It's like I'm a math student. I'm just showing you how you can present statistics in an attractive way. And if you spend time, with the column captions, it's not only good for anybody that looks at this, but it reminds you of what the heck is in that row, in that column. Whoops. It went all the way back there for some reason. I don't know. There we go. So it's off by 360 bucks. Well, why is that? Well, we're rounding to the nearest, dollar. We don't pay half pennies, So just the rounding error up and down, it shows a slight overpayment of 360 bucks. So that last payment of 35 million, they just reduced that by 360. If I were in charge of everything, which I'm not, I'm in charge of nothing. Believe me, the lottery people are not calling Jimmy asking me what the 30th payment is. The magical question is, what's the first payment? So when we add it all up, it's 576. That is an unbelievable. The equate, like this right here, this 8,000,006 number. If I touch that, now if I hit this cell thing, does that work? No, that doesn't do it. If I hit this, so I'm going to put I'm just going to touch that. I don't want to do anything less. If I hit this little keyboard looking thing, see there it shows, and if you can see it, yeah, now you can see it. You see right there, it says round. Let me see what that's on the screen there. Yeah, you should be able to see that. There it is. Let me bring it more in the middle of the screen so you can see it. In fact, I can bring it up. Oops, I think I can even bring it up a little bit. There we go. You see where it says round E68? So E is what's highlighted up there in purple. That cell is E68. A, B, C, D, E. A is a black bar. B is where the number 32 is. A, B, C, D, and then there's E. E is 576. So that equation is going to that 576 number. Notice we've highlighted 8,000,006. And then the equation is bracket. So E68 is divided by bracket, there are 4 brackets, 1 plus 0.05, because it's a 5% growing annuity, and then up to the 30th power, less 1, and then that's all divided by the 0.05, and I'm rounding to the nearest $10, up or down. I didn't round up or down, it's, nearest 10. So if it's $5, it goes up a tick. If it's $4, it goes down a tick, drops off. That equation, it took me a couple weeks to figure out that one. Yeah. And then it's just 105% of the previous payment. This first payment is a magical number to figure out. I mean, if someone told you, I got a $576 million payout, let's just say, it's because you just sold your business. Let's just say that. and the person that's buying your company says, I'm going to pay you $576 million for your businesses, Mr. Wilson, and we're going to pay you over 29 years. Your first payment is $8.6 million, and then every payment thereafter will grow by 5% until it's all added up. It'll be $576 million. That $8.6 million you get day one when we close. The other 29 payments are made annually. So that's the question. So now you have to figure out what the heck would that first payment be? Well, there's the equation. It is a master class of ultimate aggravation. Try to figure out how to do that. Anyway, so when you retire and you got nothing better to do, some people play golf. Jimmy figures out this crazy stuff. No, this is just it's a tool. Anyway, so it rolled over. Now the second row of black numbers operate. Now so now I have to go full screen with this in order to do this properly. And since I'm here, I might as well do it. Right now we're going to copy that yellow and copy. We're going to copy right, and then we're going to paste it right over that green one, because that's and then we're going to go through, see right here, and I'm going to highlight this whole row and make it, I'm going to gray it out. I'm not going to white it out. I'm not going to erase it. I'm going to gray it out. So now I go up here to this paintbrush, and the text color is going to be 4 steps on that gradient. It's going to be a very light gray. It's done. So that's the end of that. Close that up. There you go. So now why did I do that? Well, I want to put the accent on the right syllable. I want, this way your attention is drawn to that line. The other numbers really don't matter, because, that was yesterday. We're talking about what's going to happen on Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday, Friday. So we just found out from the Friday, the 5, 9, 29, 47, 57, with the Magic Ball 16, Mega Millions, no one won that. Whatever number of tickets they sold between, Tuesday and Friday, no one came up with the winning combination. So it rolled over. This is the 32nd, not week, it's the 32nd rolling of the lottery. It rolled over. They're 2 a week. So that's 16 weeks. Because round numbers, so sometimes you have 9 of these, Tuesday, Fridays, there may be 9 in a given month. If it's a 31-day month, and all this stuff. So within a given quarter, right? A quarter is 13 weeks. 20. We're well past 6 months worth. Yeah. So, or a quarter, full quarter. There you go. So I'm showing 4 prior drawings, which is June 23, June 26th, June 30, July 3rd, the 5-9, and then on the 7th, Tuesday the 7th, I have a doctor's appointment. Oh gosh, I have a meeting with my primary care doctor, and we talk about all my aches and pains and go through my list of drugs. And I like to have Marilyn accompany me, but she can't get out of the bank. She's got new people, and she's got to stay there. I'm going to ask her again and see if she can slip out for an hour from 2 to 3, so in that time zone, and accompany me. I want her to hear, I want both of us to hear what he has to say. Dr. Thomas Lubin, good man, outstanding. But it's always nice to have two people listening to what's being said. So when we get home, we make sure we get, we follow doctor's orders, as they say. All right, so I'm going to make a print screen now of this. I hold the top button and the side button, click it simultaneously. Now that is a picture. Yeah, that's a picture. I'm going to crop this, rough crop it. Oops, gotta grab the little tab. Oh, no, there you go. And we tab this down right to the top part of the yellow. Kind of like detents the spot. There we go. And now I hit save it. Saved photos. There we go. So now I can close this. See, so now since we know there's no winner, we've put in 576 because that's what the lottery people say the next jackpot will be. And I'll hit this right here. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to close that down because we're done with that. So now this is a picture. This right here is a picture, a print screen of, that numbers page that was visible. And it showed you can see it's got two payments, the first payment and then the second payment. This is before I did the, before I grayed out those numbers. I don't know, wait a minute. I don't think I'm on the right library. Let's go. Oh yeah, let me touch this one here. Recently saved. This one. This is the one I want. This is the one I just did. See, because I grayed out. So there should be only one line of numbers. That's it. 576. So this is, this lottery occurred an hour and a half ago. 5/9/29. I've grayed out all those results because that's history. We're now at 576. You can imagine if this sucker gets to 1 billion. Oh my God, they'll be like, people will be coming out of the woodwork trying to win this one. Don't plan on winning this, and not with 290 million to 1 odds against you. That's almost like everyone in the country is going to win this before you get a chance to win. There's 313 million and 325 million people in this country or something like that. The odds here are 290 million to 1 that you will not win. So it's a pretty safe bet that I could copy rollover in that in this spot. Because there's a chance someone's going to win, but there's slim and none. So in which case, if someone did win this 542 one, then this next one would be 50 million instead of 500 million. It would be 50 million. They reset and start over at 50 million. Yeah. So this thing has grown from 50 million to 576 million over 32 unsuccessful attempts to get a winner. Yeah. That goes to show you that it ain't easy an easy win in this one. So, this, you can tell this is a, photo. So, I can flip it around. I can email it. Yeah. But it's nice for talking because you can, jam your finger on. You do that in your spreadsheet, and you louse up, that this first row here, that 8,669,000, that's calculated with that formula. That's it comes right out of the textbooks. Yeah. This was printed. This is published formulations that I found somewhere. So, it's off. Remember, we went all the way to the end, it was off by $360. Well, out of 39 payments, to be off plus or minus, $300 one way or the other. You would just adjust the last payment, if there's some reason, this is all academic, mental gymnastics, I would call it, this whole thing. But, if, it's just some mathematical way of being interested in what's going on. Someone's going to win. What the hell? Might as well, it's hard to, I can't even keep this, this, there we go, there's jackpot, I see jackpot, and then it goes right over to the, yeah. So just, doodaddy what I'm doing here, just showing you while I'm talking. This window is changes size somehow. All right, so we're going to put a little heart on that, and we're going to duplicate. Whoops. We're going to duplicate it just the way it is. Then go to the duplicate, and then I'm going to edit it. I'm going to do a crop, and I'm going to crop it to get rid of. Whoops, I think yeah, there we go. Like, yeah. That's not a bad, whoops. I don't want to see that 8-6. Can I grab this one? No. Can I grab this one? No. How about this right here? No. I have to do this one. A little more. There we go. Pull it down just a little tiny bit. Oops, I gotta be here. I need to have my little, there we go. That's it. So I don't have any of the annuity information on this. No, my laptop. There we go. There we go. That's it. Now I'm going to hit the little orange check mark, which says, what does that say? So here's with the two columns of annuity payments, the first payment and the second payment, just so you know what that looks like. And here's just, the same aspect ratio. So when I go from one to the other, these borders just slide right over to the next one. instead of them jumping. A little trick of the trade here, make it easier on your eyes. Now this is just jackpot time. There's the lump sum payment amount, totally an estimate of an estimate. So I'm probably close within like a couple of million one way or the other. What's a couple of million among friends? Yeah, but that I won't be off by more than a couple of percent because it's a little more than 45% of the jackpot amount, and it depends on the interest rate market and all that kind of stuff. I don't know actually how they calculate. Well, the lump sum, the definition of the lump sum is right there in the column caption. What is it? It's the present value of the future cash flows. So when they go out to bidding, when they determine there's a winner, then they will do an RFP, a request for proposal. They will send out an RFP to their 10 favorite banks that are substantial, that have interest in doing this annuity. And what'll they pay? In other words, how much money do they need so that over 30 years, this winner is going to get 576 million. The lottery people don't actually do this annuity. They farm it out to big financial institutions. Let's say TD Bank was the winner. So the TD Bank main office and wherever the hell their main office is, and in New York City, I guess. They would, I'm making this up because I don't have a clue. But they're going to send out RFPs to 5 or 10 of their favorite banks that are interested in doing this annuity business. And then the banks, several banks, they want competitive bidding, is going to say, okay, I'll pay the 576 million over 29 years, and I'll only charge you, 259 million. So you'll make a little profit on the discount. That's what they would say. So they basically bid it down. The opening bid is 260 million, because that's this number. And then they'll say, and then, they'll have all these envelopes, and the 5 or 6 banks, 10 banks, whatever the number is, whoever has the lowest number wins. And if it's, 556 million, then, the lottery people would make a profit of 4 million. I'm kind of making that up. To pay their expenses over the 31 drawings that occurred here. They have a studio, they have electric bills, they have equipment, they've got people in the studio when they actually do the drawing. They have to maintain the machines with the ping pong balls on it. After so many weeks, they replace the balls with a new set of balls. 70. There's 70 balls in the left-hand machine, and there's 24 balls in the right-hand machine. So they have boxes of balls in the vault, and they'll swap out these balls, and they'll basically discard after X number of weeks. I don't know what their frequency of, how they maintain those machines with the balls, but I don't think they use a fresh set of balls every drawing. I think they change the balls out, let's say, after 10 weeks. I don't know what this. I doubt that they have a fresh set of balls every drawing. I don't know if that's true or not. They might have. There was a time where they would have like 4 or 5 machines in the vault, and they'd pick which machine, by lottery. They throw. Let's say there were 6 machines. They throw 6 cards, like playing cards, and they'd write on them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they'd put them in a hat, and someone would pick it up and say, "Oh, I'm going to use machine number 3 tonight." So then they roll out machine number 3 out of the balls. And that's the machine with the balls all set up, ready to go. There was a time with the Florida Lottery where they had 5 or 6 machines. This is, I think even before Powerball, or anyway, I don't know if they still do it that way or not. Anyway, so there we go. Let's see. Mitch McConnell's, he went unconscious, I think at home. And, they had to, they sent him in, they took him away in a hospital, in an ambulance, and he's in a hospital. He's been there for, a week or so. He's still there, I think. Yep. Whether he had a heart attack or whether he's over 80. He's 80 something, 84 or 5. I'll guess 4. I know, being a U.S. Senator of Kentucky, I believe, it's not an easy thing to do. Here, this guy's got 20 years of service in the blue. The lighter blue than the other people. Now, he decided to go stand on the steps of Congress and call for the impeachment of Trump. He's standing there all by himself. Now, if he had a congressperson with him, the Capitol Police wouldn't have anything to, get after this guy for. But if you're just standing there all by yourself and you don't have a permit or whatever the heck you need to have, they take you away. Well, the 3 people took him away. He was standing there calling for the impeachment. He had a 20-year military career in the Air Force, and now he's been arrested by the Capitol Police because he thinks Trump should be impeached. I don't know. If I was I wonder what his wife thinks about that. She can't be happy. You're giving away your retirement? What are you, crazy? Yeah. Well, here's the new Model YL. You can see what kind of insignia they have on the back end of this. They don't. It's about 6 inches longer wheelbase between, if you measure the distance between the front wheel and the back wheel, it's 6 inches longer to accommodate a third row of seats. So those 2, 4, 6. So you can comfortably seat 6 if they just move the wheelbase back, making the car essentially this number. That's the new one. And and it makes the trunk, so if you fold that seat down where you're not going to use it, you got a bigger platform to move stuff around in. Let's say you don't actually want 2 more seats for a passenger. You want to fold that sucker down, and if you fold the seats behind the driver and you fold the seats, the 2 rows behind the driver, so you take both rows and pull it down. You could put a pretty large size piece of plywood down. If you're in the trades or just moving stuff around, if you're in the, if you're in sell furniture, or I don't know, but anything, if you wanted a bigger, that's why it's really popular in Asia and so forth, because people wanted a bigger closed-in area back there for moving stuff around, medical equipment, whatever. So you can fold down 2 rows of seats It's designed to be real flat, and they make mats to cover the whole area that'll roll back in case you want to lift up one row of the seats. Yeah. The car is like $4,000 more expensive than the Y instead of the YL. L for long, I guess. Yeah. But if you look at the car, it doesn't look any different because, proportionately, they have it all aerodynamically, zeroed in, so the coefficient of drag is really low. It's beautifully, I think it's an outstanding vehicle. She's probably married now. I think yeah. Baby doll looking. She's my son hurt his hand. He was unboxing stuff at work and hit his knuckle and peeled back. Yeah, I'm supposed to be looking at favorites. There we go. And we have new ones here. 576, 565. I missed it by 70, by 11 million. I was just horsing around. I just guessed. It's got to be a bigger number, right? Let's get rid of that. 565, that's not right. Might as well erase it. 565, might as well erase that one. There we go. That's Friday night's pick. 5, 9, 29, 47. Yeah. I put it now in the spreadsheet for posterity. That's it. Okay. This lady says there are no more string bikinis for me. Now, anybody that knows Kylie, K-Y-L-I-E, Kylie Cleese, K-E-L-C-E, Kelsey, Kylie Kelsey. Oh my jeez. Say that 3 times. She is not wearing, under any circumstances, a string bikini ever again, because I don't know why. You know how you can find out? We're going to this is the magic of, you can call it AI, I don't care, you can call it alphabet soup. This is just coding the application, the operating system of the Apple operating system, because this is, after all, an iPad, right? So because this is the picture, and I don't know anything about what's going on here, we can find out where this was. This is people.com. So we're going to highlight the word and I've highlighted the sentence and I've said, look up, like look it up. So bingo. People.com. Here's the picture. Let's touch on that. And now we are actually on the website. Where this was written. You see, there's the host, her husband, Jason Kelsey. They share 4 kids. That's one way of putting it, huh? We share 4 kids. That's sharing for you, huh? Need to know. Her preferences is getting real about self-love. I don't know what any of this stuff means. Let's see. Why are we here? We're trying to find out why I am not wearing a string bikini again. She must have been photographed and, you know, and she was, is this the picture? Thanks. No, that's somebody else. Is this story over? Now this is, yeah, we're still on the story. Related stories. Let's say this isn't the first time Kylie has opened up about her postpartum body. Postpartum meaning after the birth of this little bundle of joy. So that, these ladies, they want to get their bodies back in, you know. So I had my belly button pierced. It's stretched out of, complete, so, when you grow up a little bit, maybe you don't need that belly button earring float around inside your belly button. Yeah, just you grow out of that. So we don't know. She must have gotten caught by some camera guy, and she was in a, unfavorable uh, light, if you will. But that's how you can look stuff up. How cool is that? You just highlight the words and this, one of the selections is look it up. So we did. That's exactly what we did. That's the one I seeing about doing these print screens is, even though I don't have the story now, it came out of Flipboard, so I can hunt through there and find it. Here's iPhone Photography Awards. So I can, same thing. I can highlight these words. Okay, let's look it up. Let's see who third prize was and fourth prize. We'll pick the top choice there. Yeah, people take pictures. They actually can, put that on a tripod, keep it steady, and you see you got the handle, and you can rotate it around. I have a newer. They call it Neewer, something like that, and it's this. It holds the iPhone. There's a little spring-loaded thing in the middle. So when you take pictures or videos, you got two grips on each side. So instead of this, phone flipping around with your fingers, you got two grips on either side of it. So you can have a very steady video or still imaging if you're taking the pictures of volcanoes. There's just happened. Wow. I bet that's hot. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that, something like that. Because I've read enough, those suckers can explode. And if that explodes, the shock wave from that explosion is so tremendous, you'd be a dead dog. I don't think you'd live through it, because it'll disintegrate trees. It'll make them into splinters. So your insides, look at that, as a cat. There's the gold prize. Oh, these are, what are they? Yeah, that's right. These are iPhone prizes, the different pictures. Now we would, let's see, does this give you the chance? Hide reader thing, yeah. So now we're on the website, so we can see, and you can go to, maybe click on that one. See, that's the actual submission. And there's a cat. I have a cat just exactly like it. That. Yeah, laying down under the net. That's first, second, third prize. I guess I don't have any more photos. Let me go back to this. But you can do that anywhere. I mean, you could just pick out, utility companies. Whoops. Utility companies. Look up. Let's see what that would produce. So they're going to show you where all the utility companies are in the state of Florida. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I just clipped 2 words out of the middle of a paragraph there, just to show you how universal that is. There we go. Former son-in-law is in Hungary. Here's Marilyn and her. There you go. Aaron in the blue shirt. He is one nice gentleman. I've done a few big deals with him at Seacoast Bank. There's Marilyn over there, top right. There's her assistant branch manager, top left. And they're celebrating 4th of July. She had a big, one person got promoted, another person, another person's sick, I mean, sick for like 6 months, sick. So there's only 4 in the branch. She lost like 3 of them. So these are all new faces. Yeah, this guy here is from Egypt. This lady here is from Buffalo. JC is, head of, I don't know what his title is. He's head of commercial lending, His approval, you make, $3, $4, $5, $10 million loans. JC Parent is in there somewhere. Yeah, they rely on his judgment to be one of the people that, if he says no, that deal ain't happening. Marilyn's got a flag in her hand. She's got all kinds of flags all over here. Yep. Her father was a Marine, her mother was a Marine, and her brother was a Marine. How about that? Here, we're talking about AI on this picture. Look at that grill he's got right there in his office. So they told the computer to put a nice flat grill and replace that in his tabletop. And AI did that. I said, Marilyn, that's Photoshop. Yeah. Now they used maybe they didn't use Photoshop. Maybe they created their own algorithm to produce that and substitute the desktop with this grill top and to put the, what do you call it, in his hands. Very cool indeed. Yeah. Very nice. Anyway, that was her Facebook posts. That's her team right there. Without JC Parent. JC Parent's a good guy. There's us having dinner at Luff's. Yeah. So if we go down here long enough, we'll probably see the very beginning, the first couple minutes of this broadcast, which started, about 11 o'clock. What's this time? Oh, here's that bill they were talking about, the $250 bill, and they put that portrait thing right in the middle of the $250 bill. Yeah, nice. I flew a Cessna 142, I think it is. I was trained to take off and land it when I was in college. Look at that pen. That's a fountain pen. Oh my God. Yeah, look at that. I wouldn't want that fitted with a roller ball. There's different, things you can screw in the top of those things. Here's the flags. I have one over here that's 18 inches. When I saw that commercial, I said, I gotta buy one of those. They don't give them away, but there's, I don't fly it, per se. Look at this. Holy mackerel. This guy just landed on his belly. That's probably AI. Is that going to fall right open? No. Nope. I bought 2 of these. One for me and one for Daniel. Hope he likes it. Yeah, that's a nice thing to have, put your license plate on, right? Trying to save that deer. There, they got him. There we go. Oh my God. They saved the deer. That deer says, oh my God, you're my best friend. Wow. Here's some wings. That's a pin. Pete Hegseth and all his, oh my God, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 kids. Wow. Bunch of twins. There's twin boys, twin girls, and 5 others. Well, I don't see, let's see if we can do a search. Yeah, search up here. Type in FAU for you. Let's see what it pops up with. Hit return. This is it right here. See? 1,300 followers. You see the Jim Wilson, yeah, there it is. You can see all right, there we are. But it bombs out after about like a couple of minutes. It's Saturday. All of a sudden it just, let's see how much of it shows. There I am. Only 1 minute, 13 seconds. And then it just went bipsic. Let's go to the end and see what happens. Yeah, it just stopped right there. You can see July 3rd there. So that's YouTube is they're still pumping it out there. Yeah. So it's a simulcast until someone goes away, and then it's not a simulcast anymore. It's just a direct broadcast. Yeah. So it's going into 2 of the social networks simultaneously, but Facebook dropped off. I'm going to show you that's where the beginning of. Before that, I put a post up there that basically said, I'll show you what it said. I have a right here. I said Jim Wilson's live streaming broadcast going live today within the hour. And I typed in there within 5 minutes. And it said, to the Friends of Jim Wilson Facebook live broadcast, we are going live this hour on Facebook and YouTube. Our handle is the @ FAU for you with YouTube and with Facebook. If you have any trouble, just go to the other one. A or B. And the 2 dots there, we broadcast from our downtown studio, which is basically my little desktop here, with my small array of old iPads, which I use for, this one here is an elapsed timer. And this one here, the green one, that's the time exactly. 1:59 p.m. in 20 seconds, it's going to be 2 a.m., which I think we'll pull the plug at 2 a.m. How about that? We got 20 more seconds, sports fans. Here's our disclosures, disclaimers, warnings, notices, and cautions. We are not licensed to give any kind of advice like this. I am a licensed real estate broker, so I do that. Yes, I do. But not on this broadcast. I am not schlepping real estate, no. But if a real estate question came up, I'd give my opinion and say this is my opinion. Yeah, I don't discuss those kinds of things. I talk about whatever the hell comes up. My new favorite place is Mia Rosebud. Where is it? I just lift up on the picture and there's a map of exactly where it is in downtown Boca Raton. And I can touch it. See where it says Mia Rosebud? There it is. Palmetto Park Road, 1 block east of Federal Highway, which is right there. I live in I live right in this building. So I literally walk over one building. And yeah, I live, see where it says Chops? We are 8 stories above Chops. So I walk out, go on the sidewalk all the way to it. So what is it? 1 block, third of a block and a half a block. So I'll say a half and a half. 1.5 blocks away. I just walk it. Light drizzle, carry an umbrella. Yeah. Heavy rain, stay home. Marilyn meets me there. She's about 4 miles away, her job. So takes her 15 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever, depending on traffic. So that's it. It's 2:02 a.m. My little dog is sleeping next to me in her little round bed with all these things. It's like a shag carpet, but it's round. It's like a little pillow inside, almost like a half inflated rubber thingy covered with the shag rug. She loves it. She curls up in there and she is out. She listens. It goes in one ear and out the other. My 2 hours of yakking here. Yeah. 1 hour, 58 minutes. And you can see the elapsed timer up here. Yeah. And this is where Mia Rosebud is. I was sitting at the end of the bar, looking south, I guess. Yeah. I'm on the north end of the bar. Yeah. Bank of America building, 150 East Palmetto Park Road. That's the official address, I think, of the bank building. 120, 150. Let's see, we can, it's 3D or 2D. Yeah, I can get like a, where's the ocean? There it is. Coastal waterway, some bridges, give you an idea. That's looking at the Boca Hotel property. Yeah. Amazing, the mapping, what's involved with that, can you imagine? All these streets are all, They get the mapping data from somewhere, and they strip it right in. So you can call that AI. Everything's AI now. Artificial intelligence. I've been a coder for 50 years. It's all AI. It's been AI. Where the hell have these people been? They just have a word for it now. So now that they have a vocabulary word for it, everything you touch is AI, which is actually true. The phone is a magical piece of artificial intelligence. I mean, this is a portable, a really comprehensive portable computer. And it also is a phone. I mean, the cameras, my God, 45 million pixel cameras with lens systems. It's like unheard of, the miniaturization. And it takes pictures as good as my commercial equipment. But if someone hires you to do a job, you can't walk in with an iPhone and expect to charge them a couple $1,000. Nah, it ain't happening. So you got to have the equipment with the 45 million pixels. But the iPhone actually takes very good pictures. I would always carry my iPhone with me when I was on a commercial assignment because there's sometimes these big cameras, you can't get the lighting right or something, or the color isn't right. These phones, the algorithms, the AI that they have supporting, the software that's required to capture the image and put it in and to create a JPEG file, which is what I asked for the camera to do. So every time I push the button, I've got at least a 24 million pixel image. It can go up to 45 million pixels. It's unbelievable. 3 different cameras: ultra wide angle, and telephoto. Yeah, go daddy. All right, we'll talk about the iPhone another day. In September, July, August. This is July. Oh my God, August, September. In a month, you're going to start seeing super duper leaks about what the iPhone 18 is going to be all about, and how are they going to convince me to get an updated phone instead of just retaining the one I have? They're going to have to do something. Now we've been updating every year for 12 years, pretty much. I'm a technology guy. I want to use the highest technology that comes out. I write about it. I talk about it. I write articles. I talk like I'm talking to you all now. I've had 50,000 people listen to what I'm saying right now. That's a lot of people. So as long as I got people listening, I keep talking. Yeah, there's the lovely couple. Oh, there we go. Top retired general issues scathing Trump takedown. Oh my God. You got such political divide between, this whole Iran thing. They got people on both sides of that equation, in this country, on what we should be doing with that. They were like this close to, to having a nuclear weapon. And these guys are like crazy. They'll go ahead, they'll nuke Cincinnati, if they can get away with it. So we had to stop that because no one else would. And they were getting so close, Mossad, the Secret Service kind of people, and the Israeli defense people. They have a special group called Mossad, and they're, I'd say they're like the USA Secret Service. They're the best of the best, and They know who's what and where, and so they can target people. Oh yeah, you want that guy? He lives in that apartment. He'll be there anytime after 8 p.m. They'll fly a missile right in there and take care of him. Yeah, I mean, we've taken care of 40 or 50 of the Iranian leadership, and they keep coming up with other people. Who the hell knows whether you're talking to somebody that has any authority or not? That's the problem. But right now, Trump is dancing on the head of a pin, because if he starts bombing them again, then the price of oil is going to go up, and then you're going to have to wait a couple of weeks for that to come back down. And he's trying to not have these high energy expenses going into November. Well, hey, look, you started this thing, you should finish it. The more foot dragging that you're doing, which is what's going on right now, in my humble opinion, everyone's got an opinion. Yeah. Opinions are like noses. Everybody's got at least one nose on their face. There's another, it actually goes further south than that. The person that told me that, like opinions are like belly buttons, everyone has one. Well, keep on going further south in the back end of you, in the very lower part of the back end of you. Yeah, there's an opening. Opinions are like, AH, everyone's got one. Oh God, which is true. And they're all different. Everyone, it's amazing. We all live in the same planet, and we watch all this stuff going on. Everyone's, gets different things out of it. How do you get on the wrong side of that? Which to me is, a magnificent, amazing thing, that we can be so divided about such things that are very obvious. It seems to me, but that people can look at it another way and see something entirely opposite, which I don't get. So that's our problem right now. On everything that's going on, there are diametric opposite viewpoints on any topic you want to talk about, and they have these avenues to discuss it. You guys want me to talk Iran? I'll talk Iran next time. You can bet that I have an opinion on anything you want to talk about. All right, on that happy note, I'm going to what I do is I go back to here, I make this full screen. There we go. And then I make it full page on there. That's how I come, and that's how I go. Yeah. So I wish you a nice evening if you're a hypochondriac or it's insomniac. 3 hours where you you could be driving from here to, who knows what, and just want to have a couple of cups of coffee with Jimmy. Well, you just have. And it's 2 hours and 9 minutes later, and I need to go to the little boy's room, and it's about time I stop talking. So I'm going to stop talking. I'll give you about 30 seconds of Epidemic Sound instrumental or royalty-free music I put in there. We're streaming, and I want to keep the water running through the pipe. Good morning, everybody.